$3,700 of computer equipment crammed into a rack I 3D printed. This is the KWS Rack, and today we're going to build one from scratch. Hey everybody, welcome to Captain Red's Lab. I'm Connor, and today it's the first video of the channel, and it's going to be the first build of the channel too. So just getting into what the first build is actually going to be, we're putting $3,700 of equipment into the 3D printed 10-inch rack designed by KWS Racks. Now, it's going to be a full teardown and everything, so we're going to get a time-lapse, build, review. So just to give you guys a little bit of who I am, my name's Connor. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I'm a Red Seal plumber gas fitter Class A. I'm also a refrigeration apprentice. I've been in the trades now for almost 12 years. I absolutely love it. It's something that I would recommend lots of people get into if you're looking for something. It's very hands-on. You're using your body all the time, and it's a great career path. Be expecting some trades things, some trades-related content, whether it be upgrading appliances from standing pilots to intermittent pilots, or just random how to clean things on your equipment and maintain your house as far as the trades is concerned. We'll also be doing things like 24 volts, troubleshooting and wiring things, and just having some fun with trades related things as well as tech things, and kind of having a mishmash of both of them. So let's get right to it and get started with our first build. All right, so before we even get into building the rack, we've ran into our first problem. The network cards I picked up for the ThinkCentres, the thing that lets each computer talk to the network, they came in with full-size metal brackets on the back, and these Lenovo ThinkCentres are tiny. There's no way these full brackets will fit there, and even if they did, they're still not the right bracket. I've got to make something. Instead of spending time and searching for and ordering the right bracket online, I just decided to design one. Opened up Fusion 360, grabbed the calipers, measured everything out, slot width, screw holes, overall height. It all had to be exact or the card wouldn't see properly. 30 minutes later, printed on the Bamboo P1S. I wish I could say it was a perfect fit, but I had to do a few iterations because it just wasn't right, and I'm not a perfect 3D designer. I'm a plumber. So this is absolutely one of the times that having a 3D printer next to a home lab, it's paying for itself. With the brackets sorted and printed, it's time to get the ThinkCentres ready. These Lenovo ThinkCentres, the tiny PCs, they're about the size of a paperback book. I've got 4 of them, and each one has a different job. Three M720qs running Proxmox. That's server software that lets one computer act like several computers at once and allows all the PCs to communicate together. And one M920q running pfSense, a router and firewall control that protects the whole network. But out of the box, they're pretty basic, so each one's getting upgraded. More memory so they can juggle more tasks, PCIe risers made for the tiny PCs, and the network cards with our custom brackets so they can handle more traffic. Same process for the rest of them. RAM, PCIe riser, network card, close it up. On top of the tiny PCs, I've also got a Terramaster DAS, basically a hard drive drawer packed with storage. Got a Google Coral for AI-powered security cameras, Zigbee, Bluetooth, and Matter adapters for my smart home, Lutron bridge for the lights. When it's all up and running, this setup handles my smart home, security cameras, photo backup, file sync, media streaming, and the entire network. It basically replaces my Google Photos, Google Drive, OneDrive, or other various streaming services, and would have been a $500 security camera setup. I've gotten 2 versions printed off. I've got one where we do the heated inserts, and I've got another version where we do have the heat set. I'm gonna clean these guys up first and then get through onto getting these installed so that we can start building our project. Now, I only have a certain amount of heat sets left because I've already gone through and built most of mine, and I only ordered enough to have some spares, unfortunately. I'm gonna point out some really neat features that these guys have here. As you can see, he's gone and fit in the heat set very nicely. So you can actually see here that when you go to put a nut in, You can actually put this in nicely. It stays in there. I do recommend using just some super glue or epoxy glue in here. These are the ones that actually secure on, so that way you can build your plate a little bit. So this will go, like that. As you can see, they fit fairly nicely. Now, this one is the heat set version. What we would do is we would just put these all in. He's got them sized nicely so that as long as you get the exact measurements that he has on his Maker World page, you'll be fine. So what I like to do is set some in, and then we'll heat up our torch. I use just this Milwaukee torch just for these. I do have a soldering iron for doing electronics, but I don't like to use that for my heat press. I also like the fact that I can stand this up and it stays nice for me. So while we're looking at that, the other version here, I don't have the right M series nuts, but you can see they fit really nice and tight there. One thing that you could actually do, and that I'm gonna do, is really quick show you. You could probably use it almost the same as a heat insert. We'll be able to see it start pushing in. There you go, that one's in. Now one thing I like to do, take a knife, and then you'll be able just to push it down. Now, as you can see, we've got a very nice insert for our rack. So now we can thread into this from the other side if we need to. We would need a little bit of a longer nut or a little bit of a longer bolt than with the insert. We'll just do one of the insert ones now since I've knocked this all over. So we just wait for it to heat up a little bit. You can get different tips that actually thread in or seat in properly on these. I find that this works just fine. So again, take your knife or something that's flat and then just press that in. There you have it. Then you'll have one nice insert, nice and flush. Sits in. You can screw in from both sides if you need to, which is really handy. I've found that that was really helpful in the build. Now we can go ahead and we'll get started. I'll actually just show you guys really quick on an up close here. This is what the finished product kind of looks like. Now I did print these with two different nozzles. I printed this with a 0.4 nozzle and I printed these with the 0.8. So you can see there is a bit of a build quality difference. One thing too is, as you can see on the channel here, he's got some inserts for some magnets. Now I didn't opt to use the magnets because I felt that I didn't need it. I do know that Ilan has some new profile plates coming out that will have magnets built into them, and you'll be able to attach things onto the side of your rack or wherever else he has magnets in there. The magnets are a really great idea. I love them. I personally didn't use them, but I could see it being used in the future, especially if you've got some really cool ideas for them. Anyways, let's get on to a quick build of the time lapse and have some fun with this. All right, here we go. This is the KWS Rack V2. It was designed by Ilan Kushnir. I really hope I'm not butchering your name, buddy. As far as I know, this is the first time anyone's done a full build video for this rack on YouTube. Ilan and I have been going back and forth throughout this whole process, and the guy's been an absolute beauty to collaborate with. You can tell that he has a lot of passion behind this project and has a lot more ideas to come for it. The whole rack was printed on my Bamboo Labs P1S 3D printer with a 0.8mm nozzle. Even still, it took around 2 full days to print everything that I needed for the project. You don't need super fine detail on structural parts. The thicker nozzle cut print time's way down, and honestly, the parts still feel solid. Like, they're genuinely sturdy. One thing that surprised me, this build felt more like building furniture than building a computer. The KWS design is modular, so everything just slots together in sections. You don't need to build it all at once, you can add to it later. It's almost like building IKEA furniture, but for nerds. It was awesome. Assembly-wise, once the heat inserts are set, if you can turn an Allen key, you can build this rack. Ilan designed it so you don't need any special tools or skills. Coming from the trades, I can really appreciate that. There is no guesswork. Everything lines up, the tolerances are tight, and the hardware is standard stuff. You can get it pretty much anywhere. I got mine on Amazon because I wanted it next day. One thing I'd like to flag, get yourself some ball-end Allen keys. Some of the bolts are in really tight spots, and they were a pain to reach. Now, that could just be because of the way I was building things. Your build might be completely different. It's one of the beauties about this. This is the part that Ilan really nailed with the KWS Rack. You see how just one section can detach, and if you want to, you can add more sections later, another PC, more hard drives, another switch, whatever you need. You just need to print out more panels, pick up some more bolts, add on the section. The rack grows with me. For a first-time build, it's huge because nothing's permanent, nothing's a mistake. You can move on from it. Now that we've got most of the rack assembled, you can see that things are starting to slide in. We've got the Terramaster going into the bottom for all our hard drives, ThinkCentre's going above that, and so on and so forth. As we start getting this thing put together, it's starting to look like it's actually paying off. Cable management in a compact rack like this, it's an adventure. There's not a lot of room to work with, so you have to be deliberate with your runs. Messy cables block airflow, make troubleshooting a nightmare, and honestly, it bugs me. I'm not going to pretend that I'm perfect at this. It's something that I'm not an expert with, but it's something I can clean up over time as I add or as I remove things. I have had a roommate tell me I had OCD once, and I can really feel it coming out during this cable management process though. The total cost for everything in this rack was about $3,700. The ThinkCentres, the Terramaster DAS, the switch, network cards, drivers, adapters, everything. The rack itself was actually probably the cheapest part of this entire process. Ilan's got some really cool plans and ideas coming, and even some of the models have been released during the filming of my homelab project. A 2U power supply module, a 2U Raspberry Pi snap-in module, a slimmer version of the rack. He's planning on releasing the step files so people can remix and design their own add-ons for it. The magnetic system he's building into it, he's also got some additions planned for that, which will be a game changer. He has updates posted on his Instagram and Reddit. All of his links can be found below in the description. Alright guys, and that's the build. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much if you made it this far in the video. It means a lot to me. It's the first video of the channel, and I'm definitely going to be making some more. Keep tuned for those. Just want to give a quick shout out to Unway Computers in Calgary, Alberta. They were awesome to deal with when I was picking up the tiny PCs. So if you ever need anything, used for a PC, definitely go take a look over there. Huge thank you to Ilan as well. This project wouldn't have been doable without him and the KWS Rack. I'm really looking forward to seeing what other additions you have for this project. All right, guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you later.